Hey, I'm back, and I have another review. Tonight I'm gonna be reviewing Kick-Ass. Now my cousin made me watch this. We're both kind of comic book fans. I got him into comic books, and now he's a big comic book fan. But I hadn't seen it yet. And I didn't really know exactly what it was when I first heard about it. I'd never heard of the comic book before that. But I saw the movie tonight, and I knew a little more about it by this time, but not completely all of it. But this movie was fantastic. I really, really liked this movie. It's the pinnacle of what a geek is, and it's awesome. It really just I don't know. It has a lot of relatability to it, and yet it's a great story, and it makes us geeks feel proud, if I'd say so myself. But it's really good. It's about, I don't remember the kid's name, but he's kick-ass, and he basically he's around my age, and he basically just decides, and thinks, why isn't there superheroes in the real world? I mean, uh, you know, just why not? And so he tries to become a superhero, and it's exactly kind of what would happen if you did become a superhero. I mean, there's a few things that make it a movie and stuff that make it different, but he goes out there, and the first time he actually fights somebody, he gets the crap kicked out of him, and he ends up in the hospital. And the metal, actually, what happens is he gets stabbed, and then he runs out into the street and gets hit by a car. And you just go, man, what worse could happen, But so he gets, metal pieces in his body because he got hurt. And it technically, he technically calls it a superpower. They don't really talk about it that much, but he can't feel pain as much as some. And that's not really a superpower, and he never really calls it that, but it gives him a little bit of an advantage over just a regular person. And he basically just runs around and tries to fight crime, and people capture what he's doing on a video, and they put it on YouTube, and he becomes this internet sensation. He becomes this just big sensation, and he comes to realize, that there are actual superheroes out there. They're not, none of them are super, but, there's a Batman type character played by Nicolas Cage, and then he has a daughter, and they both fight crime, and she kicks ass. Like, she's ridiculously crazy good, and it's awesome. A lot of people say she stole the movie, which I personally think, yeah. And just being myself, I like Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is my favorite character because he has the biggest relatability. But still, man, she's awesome. This is a very, very, very violent movie, and it has a lot of F-bombs and all that kind of stuff. But it's awesome. If I compared it, I don't know why you'd compare it to Watchmen. I mean, I get similarities, but they're completely different. I'm not trying to say that they're the same, but I like this better than Watchmen when I think of Watchmen, because Watchmen, I kind of had the same vision. I read the book of Watchmen first, but I didn't know very much about it, and I didn't start reading the book until the movie was coming out, and I didn't know much about it. So, I don't know. It's kind of similar in my opinion when it comes just personally me. But I loved Kick-Ass. It was awesome. What else was I going to talk about? It's just there's a lot of good action. It's funny. It's a weird type of movie because it's not necessarily comedy, but it's not serious. And they just take it's so hard to try and explain. It's almost like they're not taking the subject too seriously, but they still are. And it's just awesome. It really makes it really does make you think, what why aren't there superheroes out there? And they kind of explain that reason why, but it's really cool. And it makes me want to go out and just kick ass. But yeah, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I'm actually personally probably going to go out and get the comic book now and read it. And I hear it's a lot different. It's kind of like, Fight Club or something, where the movie and the book are really, they have a lot of different elements, but they're both really good. So I'm going to read that. And I've heard some of the story, that's differences and stuff, but it's really cool. I'm not really going to spoil anything, and I know a lot of people's reviews have been short for this movie because there's a lot of things that you could spoil. Yeah, and the Big Daddy, who's played by Nicolas Cage, he's kind of more on the story. He's having revenge on this mob, and the leader of the mob's son becomes a superhero, and that's all I'm going to say, because there's a lot to that, too, that I could spoil. But yeah, all I have to say about this is just go see it. I'm definitely probably going to watch it tomorrow again and try and see some more stuff in it. I'm probably going to go look for the book now, and if I get the book, I will review that. But yeah, great movie. I'd give it 5 whatevers. And then also I was going to note that I might be going to Scott Pilgrim versus the World tomorrow. I really want to go see that too, and I've not read any of those either. So I'm gonna have, just remember, the only reason I may say I like it a lot, and I don't really talk about the books, is just because I haven't read the books. But yeah, with this, I'm gonna read the book. If I like Scott Pilgrim, I'll probably read those books too. But yeah. If you guys want to talk about Kick-Ass to me, I'll keep talking to you about it. Just leave me some comments. Just try not to spoil anything. If you want to do something spoiler-wise, send me a message. But I'm always willing to talk about this movie now because it's pretty cool. Yeah, highly recommend it. Go see it.